Hey guys, back to the bench. I've been working on Pacific Coast Models early version Mark 1 Hurricane. This is the fabric wing, so it's before the Battle of Britain. I'm going to do it in the finish scheme. And I've pretty much got the airframe together. It's nice detail in the resin stuff for sure. Sorry, excuse me. Fit not too bad. You'll see some filler. It's going to look a lot scarier than it actually is. But it wasn't too bad to fit. Not having location pins is a first for me on like a short run kit. This is the first one I've done, but it actually is better than I expected it was going to be. The wing roots really weren't bad. This is a hell of a lot of filler. I want to see what this turns out like, but I may end up sanding most of this back. It's pretty smooth though. These inserts for the guns weren't too bad. Really everything about it wasn't bad. Now, one thing that I'm not really happy with is the cockpit. This Hurricane, and I'm assuming all of them, this is the first Hurricane I built, so I don't know. It doesn't have cockpit walls and a floor and whatnot. It's a tube kind of frame, and being a short run, I don't know if I have an example of it in the parts. I don't really, but I'll break the instructions in here. The cockpit, come on, is like this, and the issue was the pins and the holes didn't really work. The pins looked like they needed to be sanded down. They're a little bit thick. The holes were non-existent. They needed to be drilled out. It was just so much work that I don't know, even if you took the time, if you'd get it to the point where you'd be happy and it snapped together. Sorry, I'm having a beer here while I do this. I'm not really fond of photo etch. If I was doing a build, first off, I've got this new Tom and Ease stuff. I think I said that right. So I think I'm gonna, in my next build, try and do a super detailed cockpit and use his knobs and switches and placards and all this stuff. This is the stuff I'm referring to. I got a bunch of it, and it looks awesome. But for this kit, like, you can't really see much in there, and I'm gonna actually close the canopy on it, so I'm not all that worried about it. But if I were to give advice, and I'm nobody, I'm just going from my experience here, stuff like this, maybe I can zoom in here. It's tough because this is resin and it's on a casting block. You have to cut that off, square the edge, and then super glue it to a plastic frame that's round, and you want to get that at, well, I don't even know what the degree would be. It wouldn't be 90 because I think they splay out a little bit on an angle. So you want to get it so it's flush fitting. Hard to do with super glue, hard to test fit. So I've got mine in there, and realistically it's a bit cockeyed. I won't be able to get in there to see it, it's too dark, but that would be something that I would suggest anybody trying to do things like this, because there's no location aids anywhere. Just try to get things square, or try to look at things beforehand and see if you can get things in alignment, or in your head in alignment. There's no guess. Like, guesswork's gonna bite you in the ass, I guess is what I'm saying. So spend the time to look at it before you do it. P seatbelts, God, I hate them, but they look okay in this. Here they are, pre-painted. I'll see if I can get them on this seat and get it dropped in. I'm surprised at how low the seat sits in this. Not sure how much you'll see out of it, but so yeah, it's coming along. I'm going to paint these wing roots here probably right now, as soon as I'm done this, to get the body work done. And then I did this differently than I normally would. I see guys all the time build the whole model and paint it afterwards, like Plasmo and all these fantastic modelers do that, and they detail shit after it's built. I'm not normally doing that. I would normally have had this painted and detailed and washes, and then stuffed foam or something in there to mask it, but I'm trying it different. For me, like, I'm already thinking in my head, how am I going to get paint into surfaces underneath here and whatnot, but I'll figure it out, and I'm sure it'll turn out okay. Another thing with the short run kit is there's some options. This doohickey here on the bottom isn't on all the models, so that changes this wing. If you don't have it, this is shorter. If you do have it, it's flush here. There's two different canopies. There's a few things that are different, exhaust, propellers, and it really doesn't tell you. I guess you can see some of it in the drawing, like you can see that this windscreen's taller than this one, but it doesn't really say like this is version 1 and this is version 2. So you have to know what you're, like, how would I know what propeller went on what there? It doesn't even show it. So you kind of have to do your research, but some striking schemes in this anyways, and it's actually pretty nice. I like the combination of raised and recessed detail. It's pretty nice. So yeah, I'm going to get some paint on that and get these wing roots sorted out today, and I think that's the major, and like I said, they weren't bad at all. They really weren't. This filler makes it look a lot worse than it was. Stuff I have bought. I got this from Spain. Paul from ISM says this is the best 2K, and his builds are beautiful, so take his word on that. He shoots them pretty much daily, so that means I have to build a car. Those guys have kind of got me into the cars a little bit. I haven't built many. Pretty much everyone I've tried has been a disaster, but I'm going to attempt it again, and I'm probably going to kick myself in the ass, but I'm going to attempt this Harry Yant Skull Bandit because I thought it was awesome when I was younger. I've gotten a NASCAR this year until, well, everything's canceled now, of course. These kits are pretty straightforward. You can add a little bit of detail to them. These decals look a little bit creamy, not white, if you know what I'm saying, but they're not cracked on the sheet or anything. But I've tried 3 NASCARs now, and all 3, the decals were a nightmare. One, I had 2 extra aftermarket sets from Slicks, and they were both shitty. It's just been it's awful. It's been a nightmare. But geez, they have some nice cars. I bought a collection of these, and I bought a few collections of them realistically, so I've got like 100. I've got some of the Salvino Junior stuff, the new stuff, the re-releases, which have good decals on them as far as I know. No, I think some of them, I don't know what the hell they did. They bought the molds off Revell for the bodies, but didn't get the clear plastic parts for the mold, so I think some of the glass doesn't fit worth shit, which absolutely will kill me if I spend all the time on it to do it nice and then the windshield doesn't fit. Everybody's saying, like, I'm not sticking Mod Podge into it to try and make it. I'm not doing that. We'll see how that goes anyways before I go off on a rant. I got these too. Bill's Hobby Center had these in Ottawa, which is my local hobby shop. So I got these. I don't spray acrylics for various reasons. I prefer lacquer. I don't know if these will spray in the manner that I do spray, which is small, tight. I try to do marbling with a Sotar, with a chrome, with a PS 770. Don't know if this shit will work or not. I got their thinner. I have brush painted with a couple of them, and that wasn't so bad. It was pretty much like my model color, which I Vallejo model color. I use some model layers too. Hate spraying them, but I brush paint, and I hate brush painting. But it's inevitable in some situations. I'm shit at it, but got these to try. Got a bunch of colors, well, like 6 or 8, something like that. But what interests me more are these varnishes. We'll see how they are. Matte and gloss. I think they had a semi-gloss. I don't really use semi-gloss, I guess. Ironically, I just did on a build, but it called for it. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'd use this as a utility. I'm a lacquer guy, so pretty much everything I use will probably... yeah, we'll see. What else did we have to talk about? The transparent primer, I was going to get Meg Ammo, Spree Brothers had it on, and some shader things. I don't know what they are, but the shader things are like $3, so I was going to get a couple to try. I think they might be ink, diluted ink, but if anybody's tried that, let me know. Other than that, Dukes had a review on the transparent primer as a gloss, and it looks positive, so maybe I'll grab some. It looks like a Badger Steinel jizz that's clear, and what horrendous stuff, like you spray it and it looks like absolute garbage, and then you come back 10 minutes later and it's phenomenal. So I don't know how that works. I wish everything worked like that, but I'm just ranting. Gonna put some paint on this now, check all my seams. Maybe I will come back and show them, except for this one that I haven't touched. This is kind of what I got into with the seams. That's black CA. I use black CA on everything on this kit so I could see the seams. It looks awful. A bit of a step there, but I'm gonna sand that shit down, fill it, and I got some rescribe to do. Got a little bit of riveting to do. And we'll get back as soon as I can, and I'm probably going to paint under here, get the glass on. Oh, this Hurricane windshield hangs over. What a pain in the ass. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I'll be back in a bit once I get some paint down, and we'll see how awful these seams look then. Okay, back to the bench. I had a few low spots in my seam filling, so I've hit it with another round of this shit here. The Bondo glazing spot putty. I thin it with a little bit of thinner, put it on with a brush. It sands off pretty easily. I used to use a finer point brush or a toothpick and try and get it put on exactly, but this is going to work fine. I taped over the raised details so I don't sand it off. I just use black electrical tape. The bottom's not too bad. So a little bit of rescribe, a little bit of re-rivet. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to paint these and mount the lenses and the wing lights and then mask them off. Kind of do the body work beforehand. I probably will. But yeah, so far so good. While I was waiting for this to dry, like I said, I want to do a NASCAR kit. It's the Harry, let me see here, I'm pretty sure I showed this, but it's this issue, the Harry Yank School Bandit. It's from, sorry I dropped everything. It's from 1985. I don't know what, a lot of glare going on there. I don't know what, I bought this in a lot and it wasn't sealed. I think it was inside. But I don't know what the hell's going on, if it's poor storage practices or what. This here, I was fitting this back, and this back bumper piece or skirting is a little wider than the body, so I was trying to even out the gap on each side, and I was contemplating on sanding it down. And this happened, and then yeah, it came apart. It was brittle plastic. Now, I use super glue with kicker. Did the kicker react to it? I'm not sure. Is it just brittle from storage? I don't really know, but like as you can see, it's super brittle. Pretty easy to snap. I don't think I manhandled this by any means, but I don't know if it's just me, I'm doomed on the NASCAR thing or not. This is my 4th attempt. Normally I get paint on and it's the decals that have screwed me over, but I will do this car. I will not give up. So I'm going to, I have a bunch. This is, I think, an 86 to 88 Monte Carlo, what the hell, is it an Aerodyne body? I think that's what they're calling it. But anyway, I have a bunch of them with other schemes. So I'm going to order some decals off Mike's Decals and probably a bunch of other stuff off that site and see if I can't get me a Skull Bandit. And then I'm going to try and build a newer re-release Silvino Jr. I'll probably do the Hawaiian Tropic Donnie Allison car. See how that goes. But yeah, that's it for this bench session. I'll edit this up and throw it on the YouTubes.